Do you take away from that victory that you can apply here in week 2?
I feel like as a defense, we were relentless to the ball. Like, no matter what, even if he wasn't down, we just kept running, I feel like we need to bring that in week 2 if we want to be successful.
What is Coach really harping on this week? What are some of the things that he's stressing in practice as you get ready for a challenge in week 2 against Carroll?
Being technically sound and making sure we're doing everything, we're reading our keys, and we run into the ball and make sure that we do everything that's supposed to be done.
When you take a look at the Snider defense, obviously nice to pitch a shutout in week 1. How do you carry that momentum into week 2?
Just playing with a swagger and having that mentality that can't nobody score on us and that we're going to be the most physical defense in the SAC.
Obviously, you played Carroll twice last year, beat him in the postseason, but I know week 2 doesn't sit well with you guys. What do you remember about week 2 last year, and what can you do, and what did you learn from that experience that you can use this time around against Carroll?
I'd say last year, because we were juniors, there was a lot of inexperience, and the biggest thing that fogs my memory is seeing like the zeros, double zeros, and it was the scoreboard, seeing them running on the side, run all on the field. It just don't sit well with me.
How motivated is this team for this contest? Because obviously it's still early in the season. You have goals of winning SAC championship and going far in the postseason, but this is, I would think, a game that you guys have circled on the calendar.
Oh yeah, we've been ready for this. Right after the Northside game, we came back here and met out here. We was like, it's on to Carroll. We knew this week it was going to be strictly business, and we just had to work for it.
Final question, what are you most looking forward to about Friday night?
Just being out there and playing, because it feels like a game that we've been ready for and that we're really ready and prepared to do. So be physical and fun.
All right, perfect, my man. Take a look at last week. Obviously good to start off the season with a 51-0 victory. What do you take from last week that you guys can apply this time around?
Just our physicalness, you know what I'm saying, getting on and off the ball. All we have to do is really just impose our will on the team, and I think we got the W.
When you take a look at practice this week, what is Coach really harping on? What is he really making a point of emphasis as you get ready to battle Carroll Friday?
He's just really making a point of emphasis on just our will to fight, because we know what happened week 2 last year. We're really trying to just get redemption.
Now, how much does that motivate you guys this week?
It motivates us a lot. We've been going hard in practice, and I think we're ready for him.
What is it about this team in practice this week? Like, how much juice do you guys have coming up to this game? Because I know you got them in the postseason last year, but I imagine it's a vivid memory of what happened in week 2 last year.
Yeah, we're really motivated this week because we still have that feeling of what happened last year.
When you take a look at this Snider team, how much did you circle this game on your calendar? You know, when the schedule comes out, you're working out in the off season. You know that there are some games that you're really going to get up for. You're going to get up for all of them, but maybe have a little extra juice for a game like this.
Definitely this one, because we feel like we didn't play our best last season, and now this year, we really know we have to get them this year.
What are you most excited to do? In terms of playing on Spooler Stadium's new turf? I imagine you guys are excited to get out there and break in your new home to a certain degree.
Oh yeah, definitely get that first W out there. Definitely.
What do you think the 51-0 win in week 1 said about this Snider program?
It said that we're here to stay and we coming for championships.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Perfect, man. Thank you. Great start to the season for you guys with a 51-zip win at Chambers Field last Friday night. What do you take from that experience? What do you try to carry over into week 2 for Snider football?
Well, being game 1, I mean, as weird as it sounds, you're really not focused on win and losing. You're really focused on what are we executing well? What is it still not working right? What do we need to get better at? So from that standpoint, we're not really focused at this point in the season on results. You're just focused on we've got to get better, and it's just an endless list of things that you got to get better at on all sides of the ball, and that's kind of been our focus and what we're hard at work at.
What are you focusing on now that it's Carroll week and you've had a chance to see them on tape? What are some of the things that you are stressing in practice this week to be successful against Carroll on Friday?
Well, number one, it's going to be a physical game. It always is when we play them. And number 2, they're well coached, so they're going to execute things that talent doesn't necessarily defeat. It's got to be good scheme, good fundamentals, good sound. Your responsibilities in the scheme of the offense or the defense and the special teams that allow, put kids in position to be successful. So it's a great program. They do a great job, and, as evidence, we just look back to last year and, they blew our doors off. And that was a credit to the way they played, and those are the things we have to combat this year.
That leads into my next question is, you got them in the postseason, but I imagine these guys haven't forgotten what happened in week 2. How does that motivate these guys? How do you use that as a learning experience this time around?
With high school kids, you never know what's in their mind. There's no talk of we got to get them back or anything like that. It's really just a focus on these are the things we got to do well to be a good offense. These are the things we got to do well to be a good defense, kickoff team, whatever it is, and we're just doing it, evaluating it, coaching it, correcting it. Admitting what we're doing wrong, finding out what we got to do better, and just it's a continual process.
If there's one key element you think that could swing the momentum or the outcome on Friday night in this game, what do you think it might be?
Well, I think up front, everything begins up front, both sides of the ball. They have a very experienced offensive line. They're very active on the defensive line. So, we believe it always begins up front on both sides of the ball, and then from that dictate, the way the second and third levels play, and whether the quarterback has time to throw and whether the running back has room to run. So, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's really pretty fundamental.
The way Carroll played in Week 1, the way you played in Week 1, does this feel like an SAC championship-type game where it could ultimately decide, who wins the victory bell at some point in the season?
Well, we tell our kids every week, this could be the best team you play all year. You don't know that, especially early in the year. You don't know how things are going to work out. But prepare to be the best team you're going to play every week. And in the SAC, you never know what that's going to be like. This very well could be. Very well could be the top team in the SAC. Maybe that's next week. Maybe that's 3 weeks from now. Who knows? But we got to prepare as if they're going to be the best team we play in the regular season.
Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
Nope.
All right. Appreciate it.
I would like to say, about him at halftime. He's been a member of our staff for 48 years. Been a teacher in this building and a active member of the coaching staff for 48 years. And he's been an assistant with every head coach in this football history. He's the cornerstone of this program, and it'll be a special night because we're going to celebrate his career. I don't think people do things in one place for 48 years. I don't think that happens anymore. And he's a model of hard work, a model of commitment, a model of what we want, to teach every kid that comes through this program. There it is, model what Coach Bush has done with this football program and this high school. So it'll be a great celebration, along with, Jesse Bates will be back to formally receive his retired jersey. A good spot for him in his season, so he'll be there as well to help celebrate Coach Bush as well as his jersey retirement.
Coach Bush, as you mentioned, has been an assistant for almost 50 years. He's not a guy that's ever kind of sought out the spotlight, but has been kind of a grinder on the Snider staff. How nice is it to get a chance to finally recognize a guy like that? Because he's certainly not a guy that looks for recognition.
I get a little emotional just think about it because he's that kind of guy, and he just means the world to me. He means the world to this football program. He was my position coach when I played here. He taught me how to be a tough football player. He taught me a lot of things about what we want kids to learn outside of the game of football that apply to life. He was a dad away from your family. I mean, the people that I learned the most from are Coach Isaacs, my dad, and Coach Bush. Those guys, they model what we want our kids to grow up and be, and he's been a great impact on this program and just thousands and thousands of kids.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
Nope.
Thank you very much. Is Hayden a